Okay, thanks for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to be discussing the PCR Season 9 playoff picture for North and South. And if you've seen my older videos, pretty much um, we're at the tail end of the season for PCR. And what that means is a lot of people are competing for playoffs and whatnot. So I'm just going to break down the situation and what people have to do in order to qualify, and I'll go into details. Pretty much, this is the last week of the season, so every player should have one game. There is an exception for a couple of people, but that will be addressed. So I'll try to individually go for each person who has a playoff spot and just say like what it means if they win, what it means if they lose. Um, what's on the line. It's actually really crazy right now. So, yeah, first off, let me just throw this out there. There's 7 teams from North and 7 teams from South that will make playoffs. The top record holder for North and for South will each get a first round bye. So you want to get first place if possible. Um, yeah, the matches for playoffs will be highest seed from North versus lowest seed from South, and vice versa. So highest seed from South versus lowest seed from North. Until we can't do that anymore. And then in the event of a record tie, these are the tiebreakers, and this is important. I'm gonna try to remind everyone as much as possible. So in the event of a tie, like people have the same wins and losses, the first thing we'll look at is division record. Then we'll look at differential plus minus. Then we look at head-to-head record against each other. And then we'll look at head-to-head record against other tied people. Okay, so it shouldn't really come down to this, but that is worth considering. There could be situations where it does. Okay, so I'm going to start with North. Um, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to go from top to bottom, I think. So yeah, right now, uh, this is what it looks like. First place is either me or Kevin. Um, the thing is that Kevin and I right now have the exact same record. We're literally tied in record, division, plus minus. So there is a possibility that we reach this tiebreaker. We didn't play each other this season, so that is possible. But it depends on what happens this week for each of us. And the right now, currently for first place, there are 3 people who have a chance of getting it. It's oh wait, maybe Adam does too. No, he doesn't. Okay, yeah, 3 people. So it's either me, um, Kevin, or Ling. So pretty much for Kevin and my personal situation, whoever wins their battle and has the higher record overall. Like for instance, for me, if I win my match, then it comes down to if I knocked out more or if I lost less Pokemon than Kevin. If I lose my match, then I will drop to third place, um, maybe fourth place. Um, but yeah, so that's my situation for the first spot. Kevin, actually, if you look over here, he plays Ling. So um, whoever wins that match will get automatically um, first or second place. If they if I lose my match, then whoever wins between Kevin and Ling will get a first round bye. So that game is actually going to be really important for that reason. Um, Also, the way it works is even if you have the best record, or I mean, Like Link has a higher record than Edwin right now, but because he's not the division leader, he wouldn't get it. So if Link beats Kevin, Kevin will drop to 5th place automatically. So Kevin's situation is if he wins, then he's either first or second, depending on my differential and his differential. If he wins and I lose, he automatically gets that first round bye. Ling will be locked in 5th place. So then for Ling, if he loses, he just will remain in 5th place. If he wins, though, he moves up to 2nd place. But if I lose my match, he'll move up to 1st too. Um, so those are those 3 people. Then we have Adam, and he still hasn't played his week 11 or week 12 game, but I don't think it really matters. By the way, the star means they are locked in for playoffs. So Adam should be good in that regard. Um, who does he play? He plays Scott. Okay, so since he plays Scott, let's say he loses hypothetically, then like at worst he'll be 8-5. So he can drop, but because his matchups are against lower players, I don't see it happening, but it is quite possible. So really fast. Let's say he loses here. Like let's say he wins this week 12, but loses week 13. That would make him 9-4, and he yeah he's pretty much locked into his division actually. So he's either going to be 3rd or 4th place. Um, and then Edwin, the next Edwin's in the same division as Steven. Um, and Steven at this point can't catch up to Edwin. So Edwin's actually locked in for his division too. So the only thing that could happen for these two is they may switch their seating around. But like Adam or Edwin should be 3rd or 4th place. Okay, and we know Ling's situation already. Okay, and now this is where it gets a little complicated, but not as complicated as South. Okay, so Blair this week, he plays against Martin. If Blair wins, he automatically makes playoffs. If Blair loses, though, that will bring him to 2-4 with a 7-6 record. Which means Martin will pass him, and then he literally needs Zane and Steven to lose in order for him to make playoffs, which is possible, but it's it gets like really tricky in that situation. He would also need Scott to lose. So Zane's situation is he plays me this week, so he does have division record, and pretty much if he beats me, then he's automatically in playoffs. He'll be 7-6. He can pass Blair, but only if Blair loses. But Zane is pretty much locked into 7th place if he makes playoffs. Uh, well, no, he can get 6th place too, but it's either 6th or 7th place. If Blair wins though, then Zane at best can get 7th place. Okay, and then that's for the people who are currently in a playoff spot. For the people who aren't in a playoff spot, but do have a chance at winning, we have Steven. So Steven plays Edwin. If Steven wins, that'll raise his division record to 4-2. But he does need Zane to lose his match, or he needs Blair to lose. He needs one of those two things to happen, and he does have to make sure his differential is higher than Martin's, because as you can see, they're very, very close right now. Okay, so yeah, big thing for Steven is if he wins, and then one of Blair or Zane loses. The thing about his situation though is, let's say Zane wins and Steven wins, so he would want Blair to lose, right? But Blair plays Martin, so if he wants Blair to lose, Martin will win. So that means Steven will have to have a higher differential than Martin if he wants to advance. So it's gonna actually come down to um, just how well people are able to conserve their Pokemon and whatnot. And yeah, this is all about Pokemon. I don't know if anyone could tell or not. But yeah, yeah. So, anyways, then we have Martin. He plays against Blair, as I said already. If Martin wins, that'll knock Blair below him. Um, and then he needs either Steven to lose or Zane to lose. Um, if one of those two things happens, then he's locked in. Uh, so is it possible for Martin to get sixth place? It is if Zane, Steven, and Blair all lose. He can do it. Okay, then there's Scott. Um, who does Scott play again? Let's see. Okay, he plays Richard. Yeah, so at best he can be 7-6 with a 3-3 differential. Um, the only way he can get in with that is if Blair loses. So Martin would get in, and then Zane and Steven both lose. Or alternatively, actually, yeah, if Blair wins, that's okay, but he still needs um, Zane and Steven to lose. Like those are the key matchups. But for Scott specifically, it doesn't matter who wins between Blair or Martin. Just like one of them will get the playoff spot, and he has to try getting seventh place. Um, so that's the playoff picture for North. Uh, it is kind of confusing to keep track of. It should be very interesting to see what happens. Um, but as we're about to see, South is even more complicated. Okay, so the good news is it's very simple at first. Dylan pretty much uh, is has put himself in a position where if he wins, he is guaranteed the bye. If he loses, um, and Jermaine wins, then Jermaine will get the bye. If Dylan and Jermaine lose and Kevin wins, then Kevin will get the bye. So uh, those are the three people who have a shot at actually getting the bye. Um, but it does require, like in Kevin's situation, for the other two people to lose. Um, Dylan and yeah, Dylan, Jermaine, and Kevin all can be interchangeable. Like they can finish either first, second, or third, but they won't finish below that. So that is something to consider. Okay, so then everyone else is currently not in a playoff spot. I mean, not guaranteed playoffs. So that's why this gets pretty complicated. Potato still hasn't played his game. Once he does for week 12, that'll shed more light on like everyone's current position. But pretty much an 8-5 record at 5-1 will lock you into playoffs. So 8-5 record, 5-1 for sure. It's some people do need to rely on others to lose though, and it seems like everyone plays each other this week, which makes it even more complicated. So, for example, well, Juan's in a situation where he plays Jeff, so this is an important game for Juan. If he loses, he'll be 8-5 with a 3-3 record. That does set him up to be passed by other people. Um, he could potentially not make playoffs because of it, but everything would have to go against him. To be specific, Toasty would have to win, and then yeah, Reg would have to win, um, and yeah, pretty much everyone who's currently in playoffs would have to win, and then Toasty would have to win her game, excluding the top three people. So like 4, 5, and 7, and then Toasty win, and then Juan lose for Juan to not make playoffs. Um, so it is possible, but it's kind of very unlikely. So then we have Reg. I'm skipping Potato for now just because that. Oh well, I talked a little about it, but that division's like really tight. So even though he's 7-4 right now, Jordan and Potato like have a chance to interchange fairly easily. Um, I think those are the only two that can change. I don't think Connor or Chris can get the top spot at this point. Um, so yeah. So either Potato or Jordan will be able to get fourth place. The other one's going to have to fight in this mess for a playoff spot. Um, Potato this week plays. Let's see, he plays Connor. So this is an elimination match for Connor. I'll get there though. Um, if Potato loses, uh, we're gonna assume he wins week 12, but then loses week 13. That'd make him 8-5 with a 3-3 record. Um, that does open him up to being passed by other people. It may come down to his differential, which is pretty high right now. Uh, but like someone like Donald can pass at a 8-5-3-3. Connor actually can't pass him because his differential is too low. Um, but yeah, that's just something to consider for Potato. So if I think if Jordan loses his match, then Potato will be locked in for fourth place. I believe so. Assuming Potato wins his week 12, which also hasn't happened yet. Um, but yeah, right now it's looking like Potato is going to get fourth place. We don't know for sure, but yeah. So then there's the situation with Reg. So he's 8-4. Reg plays Jake. If Reg happens to lose this match, that'll make him 8-5 and 3-3. 8-5, 3-3 is kind of like the danger zone because that allows all these people to pass you. Um, well, most of these people. Well, actually, wait, 8-5, 3-3. It does come down to plus minus. So when I said most of these people, actually, I think Toasty and Gary or Donald are the only two who have a shot at stealing Reg's spot. Um, but despite that, it is very possible. Then there's Jordan's match against Chris. So if Jordan wins his match, that'll make him 8-5, 5-1. That pretty much means that um, Donald can't pass him, and then Toasty has to win and have. Oh wait, no, differential wise, Toasty can't pass him either. So if Jordan beats Chris, then he's locked in playoffs. Um, he even has a chance to potentially get fifth or sixth. Well, technically he could get fourth place too. So yeah, Jordan can actually leapfrog a lot of people. Pretty much, if he wins his match, um, if anyone above him loses, then he will take their spot. Okay, so then there's Toasty. Toasty plays against Kevin, and Toasty has to win her battle this week in order to make playoffs. And I believe she needs one of the people above her to lose. So Toasty has to has to win, and then either Jordan, Reg, or Juan lose. So yeah, if that happens, then she will move ahead of them. And then Donald, same situation, but he also needs Toasty to lose. So he needs um, Juan, Reg, Jordan to lose, and then Toasty as well. Um, if Toasty wins her battle, then Donald is eliminated for sure. And then if if all three of these people who I highlighted win their battle, then Toasty will be eliminated. So a lot of pressure on the people who are currently in a playoff spot. Okay, so then there's Connor. Okay, I have to think about this. How does he make playoffs here? Okay, he would be 8-5 with a 3-3 record. Okay, so same situation, but he needs Donald to lose in addition to the rest of the group, which is possible, but it's a little unlikely. And then there's Chris, who is also in a very similar situation. Um, on the bright side, though, there are certain matchups he doesn't really mind, well, like if Potato beats Connor, I think that benefits him. Like, just have Potato locked in a spot, and then he needs um like a miracle to happen, but it is possible on paper. He cannot pass Reg or Juan because of his division record, but he can pass Jordan. So what he needs is he needs Jordan to lose to Chris, who, well, he plays him. So Chris has to beat Jordan when he plays. Then he needs Toasty to lose to Kevin. And then he needs Donald to lose to Alicia. If all those things happen, oh well, and I guess he does need Potato to beat Connor. So if those four things happen, then he'll get the last playoff spot. Um, so with all that being said, I think that's pretty much it. That's the current situation. As for me doing uploads, I plan to cover my week 13 match, and then I'll maybe do a little short thing saying who made playoffs and who didn't, and then I'll start actually recapping playoff matches, including my own. Um, when that happens, and we'll just go from there. Okay, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching.